with TrueDFS, and I'm going to go over today's kind of small afternoon slate that we have on a Saturday. It's something a little bit different. We don't usually cover these. There's not a lot of content for them, but hey, there's money to be made, so why not see what our process gets us to in Saber Sim? We'll kind of get in and out of here quickly, build some lineups, see what we get, see what we like. And, maybe I'll go game by game, just talk about it a little, but I'm more of a trust the projections and trust the Sims kind of guy. So I don't have a ton of takes, but, we'll see what we come up with. There may be a few spots where we could add value to the projections and get some small edges that aren't normally there. So maybe if we start off, we'll go like Baltimore, Toronto. I think, I was looking at Roth stuff. This is the only game with a little bit of weather issues. You'll want to monitor it as it gets closer to the first pitch. But yeah, often on sprinkles, showers, drizzle, mist. But he's got it as yellow-green, so we're probably going to play. Winds are blowing in. Okay. This should all be accounted for in the projections and in the game's total. What's up? Let's get it, Rody. That's right. Let's get it. So I don't think there's much to be had here. I was looking over like the bullpen usage, and it looks like, we got maybe our first lineup in. Let's refresh that. The teams didn't play yesterday. They have their lefties available to come in if they need to. So you could see some pinch hit risk from certain guys. Like Baltimore has probably like O'Hearn in the lineup, could get pinch hit for, you never know. Some of the lower guys on Toronto, you could see Scherstad pinch hit for. There's not a ton of lefties bats in Toronto that you have to worry about. So, and I don't have much take on the pitchers. There's Sagano was kind of a hipster underdog long shot for the rookie of the year. I heard some people talking him up. He's done okay in the early going. Bowden Francis was supposed to take a jump in his second year. It didn't quite happen. Let's get it. That's right, Team Underground. Everyone wants to get it. It's a small slate, but there's money to be made, so why not? So yeah, I don't have too much to add on this. I think you could play either team. I think the pitchers are probably fine. You see Shigano getting some ownership. I'm going to run for single entry. That's just kind of what I play, and a lot of people that watch these run for single entry. So I'll run for the 121, and then the ownership kind of is supposed to even out a little bit. So no real takes on that game. I think the same for the Mets in Oakland. You could play either team. The Mets have like the highest total on the slate, so I expect them to be owned. Peterson, he's a professional pitcher. He's a crafty kind of older lefty. He can get the job done. In terms of Oakland, we don't know who's starting. Maybe we get a bullpen game, but we don't even have the starting pitcher yet. So we'll have to see what happens there. But as far as bullpen usage, the teams both have lefties available. I took a look at that. So there's nothing that, you could get some pinch hit risk on some of the guys to come out, although Mets already have a lefty in there in Peterson. So, but Oakland could go to McFarland. I think they used one of their lefties. Let's see, but plenty of ways to get some of the lower order Mets guys out. So keep an eye on that if you're getting to a lot of them. Mets could be owned. So yeah, Perdomo threw 9 pitches, so he's available as well. So worth considering that the Mets, although we expect them to get some ownership here, could have a little bit of pinch hit risk. So something to think about. All right, so Boston, Red Sox, White Sox. White Sox came out of nowhere, scored like a ton of runs yesterday. We were all expecting Boston to be the team. I still think you could go back to Boston. I imagine the field does as well. Ownership's not coming into them yet, but we'll see if that increases. The White Sox are just terrible. They have weak starting pitching. They have a weak bullpen. The pinch hit risk for Boston, if they have any righties in, is there. The White Sox will bring righties in. If you take a look at it, the White Sox used all of their lefties yesterday. So They're not going to follow up Perez with more lefties. No, that was unlikely anyway. But yeah, Boozer, I mean, he pitched 22 pitches. I don't expect him to come in. Iser 19 pitches. He could pitch back-to-back games, but I don't think so. And then Ellard's on the DLs. So, yeah, Boston's still going to look good here. Whatever the White Sox bring to them, that their best shot is with Martin Perez in the beginning. If the Red Sox get to Martin Perez, could be a free-for-all against the White Sox. But, of course, you got cold weather in Chicago. Anything can happen in baseball. So the Red Sox have a pretty good total, but you never know. Now, the pitchers, I mean, Martin Perez, I don't know. What could you say about him? He doesn't get a lot of strikeouts, but he's one of those crafty lefties, kind of like Peterson. He can hold a team down. So you never know. But he's not going to project great. 15% ownership because of, pretty low price. But you could play Fitz on the other side of it, who is getting some ownership. Fitz makes sense here. The White Sox are weak. The Red Sox have done a good job with pitching. I mean, overall, they've kind of, turned some guys around over recent years. They're putting a lot into analytics. Fitz has like a 4-pitch mix that kind of doesn't play up anything, but it sort of performs well overall. So he's got good stuff plus metrics for a young guy. And yeah, he's going to look all right today playing against a weak team. He's getting some ownership, but it's nothing too terrible at 35%. It seems like things are spread out today. Then, of course, you got another weak team in the Marlins, who are actually going to be favored here because they have one of the top pitchers on the slate in Sandy Alcantara. He was another one of those kind of hipster plays for future bets. People liked him as a Cy Young candidate potential, but there's also potential he gets traded because the Marlins are in kind of sell mode. So, yeah, but he's going to look all right. Trevor Williams coming back on the other side is going to look all right. One thing to consider is Miami used their lefties yesterday too, and I don't think they're going to have a lefty available. So the pinch hit risk is somewhat low for Washington. Washington can hit. They're pretty good. Let's see what the Marlins. Yeah, I mean, they used 16 pitches for Venziano, and I took a look. I mean, he's the only lefty in that pen right now. So he's could pitch again, but he's unlikely to. So limited pinch hit risk here on Washington. The total's not great against Alcantara, but if they get to him, Miami is a weak team with a weak pen. So, yeah. So White Sox scored 11 runs. Yeah, that's right, Nathan. As a Chicagoan, I guess I'm happy. I'm more of a Cubs fan, but can't complain when the Sox do anything. It's rare. I don't know the last time they scored 11 runs. They're lucky to score 11 runs in a series. So last but not least, Braves and Tampa. And, Rasmussen's going to look pretty good. Shawver is so far projecting pretty poorly with not a lot of ownership. The Braves were high on him coming into the year. He has not performed well. He wasn't great last year, so maybe, who knows? Maybe he doesn't have it. But there is some upside here. He had a tough game even against the Marlins last time, only put up like 10 fantasy points. So it's not looking great for Shawver, but you could always take some shot at really low ownership. The problem is the price is not there. I mean, $8K for a kind of suspect guy. And then Rasmussen's going to project as one of the best pitchers on the slate, but that's, not saying much, right? Rasmussen, here we go. He's actually the highest projected pitcher on the slate. The Braves have not been great this season. Who knows? Maybe they're just in a slump. Maybe they're getting old, but Rasmussen is pretty good. The one thing you got to look out for with Tampa is that Tampa, will not stretch their guys out. They tend to have pretty strict pitch limits and short leashes. So that is something to consider with Rasmussen. He's standing out as the top pitcher in the slate, but it's not by a ton. So keep that in mind. Now, what we should do is go ahead and build. I'm not going to make any changes. I tend to prefer playing 5 stacks, but it's a small slate and I'm just going to let it go. I'll probably pick 5-man stacks, but we'll let it build with any of them. We've got the ownership set to the high stakes single entry ownership that we're going to build for. I'm building for the 121. People who watch these shows tend to like to hand build. So I figure, I'm not a hand builder, but at least we could show how we get to one single entry lineup. So let us go ahead and build those, and then we're going to run a contest in. What's up, Anthony? Oakland Guinness starting. Okay. Good to know. Well, is he going to be min price? Like, what is his? Is he in the player pool? Do we know that, Anthony? Let's take a look. Is it just that he's not? Am I not seeing it because he's not in the player pool, or am I? Is SaberSim not updated yet? Let me know. Project Mayhem. What's your thoughts on the stack one-offs with MLB and NHL being so volatile? I feel more likely to just have a 5-1-1-1 or a 4-1-1-1. Just more one-offs. Yeah, I'm a full stack guy. I mean, yeah, it's volatile, but correlation is king, and the correlation is so strong between batters, and the upside correlation is so strong that I don't think you want to go with the 4-1-1-1-1s or the 5-1-1-1s if you don't have to. I mean, I'm more inclined to do 5 with the one-offs, but the 5-2s and the 5-3s is really what I prefer. It's true that you can hunt for upside there. What do you say that think more and more players are shifting this? Yeah, we've talked about that because we've seen a couple guys like everyone was calling out Brandon Adams because he played like a bunch of one-offs or something and did well the other day in the 5-5-5, and then he almost won. He almost won the lottery with like a 5-2-1 that had Jackson Merrill in it, who's on the IL. So it wasn't like, I mean, he was still looking for the outlier performance in the bigger stuff to get the outlier team stack. And then I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to make of those entries that he has in the 5-5-5. I mean, I have a lot of respect for him. I love the guy's podcast, listen to him all the time, but I don't know. I'm just a sellout for correlation. And it's true that there's a lot of home runs and kind of, single upside guys, outlier individuals that you could get, but good luck trying to find them. I mean, you could have that within teams as well. So you could have the team with the guy that hits 2 home runs and be just fine. Who knows? Did he put those in on purpose? I mean, I don't think he played a guy in the IL on purpose, so I don't know what he was thinking that day. Team Underground, been hand building using Pater stuff. Yeah, the Pater stuff is awesome. We got to take a look at that sometime. I don't have time. Kind of going to get out of here today, but that stuff and the betting model stuff has been great. Like, we did really good. We're doing really good with the hockey. The overall models got like a 5% ROI on the NHL betting props, which like doesn't sound gaudy, but it sounds pretty good to me, getting that kind of ROI. So we've been doing really good with that. We had a tough night last night, but we were like 4-0 in the last 2 in the top bets in the Pater betting model. So you got it for that. You got it for DFS. They did like a great show yesterday that I got to catch up on because it was a guy named Pablo and James going through the Pater stuff that you get access through TrueDFS. So yeah, I actually forgot to say that. Like, check out TrueDFS.com after you like and subscribe to this video, and check out the Pater model that you get access to. You get access to SaberSim. You get access to Goldie's projections, Sheets' projections. They just weren't updated yet today, so I haven't used them, but I use them all the time. And the price is right. I mean, it's like for a core package, it's like $20 more than you get just for SaberSim. So if you bought all these things a la carte, you'd spend more money. So check that out. Don't forget it. So, okay. We've had our lineups built for a while here. So let's go ahead and run them. Let's see like what our top ROI stacks are. One of the things too, people ask that question, should you play 5-man? Should you play 4-man? I mean, I'm going to kind of let the Sims decide it, especially since SaberSim just updated their ownership again, and they're putting more and more work into it. So they updated their ownership model. And keep in mind, when they update their ownership model, that means they're updating the field lineups that you're simulating against too. So that question of, are 4-man stacks better, or 5-man stacks better? Do you hunt for 4 one-offs? You want that's answered by the Sims. So at least to my mind, right? So I'm not going to try and outthink the Sims. People have different approaches though, so you'll get different opinions on that. But let's see what our top few lineups look like for a single entry. Our stacks, all 5-2s. I mean, to me, I'm okay with that. You get the top projected team on the slate in Miami. You correlate them with the pitcher. Oh, sorry, in the Mets, and then you get a little bit of Miami here. Luis Robert can always go off. The price is right on him. Wow. So you're kind of going down on the pitching, up on the hitting, down in the pitching ownership. Another Mets. Marlins here with Rooker. It fits here instead of the correlated Peterson. Some nights it's just all about getting slate breaking players. Yeah, that's right. The other thing, some nights the 4-1-1-1 wins or the 3-3-1-1, and then we all start to look at it and say, boy, more and more people are doing this. Are they good? Are they bad? But anything can happen in one night. And I don't know. To my mind, the more people that aren't stacking, the better. And I'm happy when they win because I want them to keep playing that way. I don't know. I run these sims and I get stacks all over the place. So the question is, what do you want to do? I mean, you could really play any one of these. Got an ROI of 34% in the first one, going down to 32.3%. Of course, we have variance in the sims themselves. So really, you can go with any of them. Let's see how far down we have to go to. Now, so if we go to 10, we're still getting all 5 stacks. Here's some of your 5-1-1-1s. Let's see if the team change. Yeah, here, now you get some variety here. So we've got some Boston, some Mets. Let's see how low we have to go in ROI, how much we're giving up here. You're not giving up much, 27 to 34. Considering there's a lot of variance in the sims themselves, I'd say any of these lineups are good candidates for a single entry. Whether you want to go, you could there's where you could kind of put your personal take. Here's where I'd say, okay, they're all about equal, but I kind of hate that I don't like the Sox bullpen. I think if you get to Perez, that works. I think a lot of people playing the Mets because they're the highest projected team, so maybe I'll go with Boston here. I kind of like Fitz, that anecdotally, just some things I've heard about him and heard about the Red Sox staff, some of the advanced metrics. So given that they're all about equal, I might say, okay, give me a Fitz lineup and take the best one of those, the Mets one, or I could correlate it with Boston. These ROIs are all about equal. So yeah, I would pick one of these that I like and go with it. What's up, Anthony? Get us down the player pool. Okay. Yeah. This is a tough one, right? Because so Ginn probably sucks, and I'm sure he gives up a lot of homers, and he's not even in the player pool. So that's why the Mets have the high total, and that's why I want to stack against them. On the other hand, not only could the Mets be owned, but you get absolutely no leverage stacking against the guy who's not in the player pool. I mean, at least, if we play Boston, we get some leverage against 15% of the lineups. It's not much, but it's something. Shigano's going to be owned. That's a case for Toronto. Who'd Washington have going tonight? Trevor Williams. Trevor Williams could be owned against Miami, so we get some of those Miami one-offs. But yeah, I mean, I can't say I don't like the Mets. They look pretty good, and it's telling us we could play them. So, but I like Fitz kind of. What's up, JB Yankees? Do you like Perez and Williams with the Mets in the 222? Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with it. Let's see if we got to any of those. So you're looking for Martin Perez and Trevor Williams. I mean, let's see what SaberSim is thinking. Let's see how far down we have to go to get that combo. And let's see how it grades. So we want some Martin Perez. Do we have any of him with Trevor Williams? Not in our top 100. So, personally, JB Yankees, I wouldn't do it. Tampa stacks. I mean, we got to a couple Tampa stacks, Nathan. So, I like I said, you get a 27% ROI on some of the Tampa stacks compared to a 34% on our top ROI. I mean, it's roughly close. And if we ran these sims again, we might get different ROIs because there's variance in the sims. So I think they're close enough that you could definitely play those Tampa stacks that we got to. Now the question, do you want to play Martin Perez and Trevor Williams with a Met stack? I mean, it sounds okay to me, but it doesn't sound okay to SaberSim, right? I mean, we're looking now in our top 400. Do we have that combination of Martin Perez and Williams anywhere? No. So to answer your question, I wouldn't do it, right? I'd stay within my top lineups in the Sims, but I'm a trust the Sims guy. So my answer is no. The process is not leading me there, JB Yankees, but you're well within your rights to do it. I mean, I think stacking is good. I think the Mets look good. You'll certainly have low-owned pitching. You'll probably have high-owned inning, but that's all right. So, yeah, that's how I'd go with it. I would go back to my top 10. I might say, hey, personally, I like Fitz, so I'm going to play one of these Boston stacks or a Fitz lineup here with the Mets, something like that, and I would send it off. Now, what's the one thing I would do? This is not my exact process. My exact process is going to happen at about 2:50 Central Time, right? These are going on at 3 o'clock Central Time. I'm going to go to about 2:50 Central Time right before lock when all the projections and ownership are as sharp as possible. I'm going to do exactly what I did. No problem, JB Yankees. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So I'm going to get out of here. And what's up, Andy? Good afternoon. I'm about to bounce. But don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out TrueDFS.com because everything I did is accessible there and then some. So normally, we could use Goldie's projections. We could use Sheets' projections, which gets us pretty different from all the other SaberSim users. And then we've got the pay dirt model that we talked about, which is great for DFS. It's great for betting. And the price is right. I mean, you could get all of these a la carte. You're going to pay a lot more money. But you can get it in one package from TrueDFS.com. So check that out. Good luck on today's slate. If you're sweating the Masters, good luck on the Masters and anything else you got going DFS or sports betting wise. And good luck to all, like you said, Project Mayhem. And let's get it.